One of the things that I love about mixed media is that I can get out in the field and actually collect the objects that will be incorporated into the art. So leaves, acorns, nuts, so I'd be out in the forest preserve and I'm actually working. So once I've collected, mass amounts of objects and materials, the fun part is then sifting through what will be into the next piece. For it to make it into the studio, it's already kind of gone through some requirements. It's either beautiful, it's textural, or it has some other type of meaning. One of the advantages of working in collage is a lot of the things that you bring to the piece already have their own history. For example, I like to incorporate text, and I may choose that text not only because it's a beautiful font or calligraphy, but also that adds a whole other level or layer of meaning to the piece. The text is relevant to what the imagery is in the work. So with all the processes and techniques and objects that I have, the challenge becomes, how do I pull them all together? And that, I think, is where the artful part comes. I like to compare it to a jazz improvisation, where I try and balance the physical layering and texturing and slapping on of mediums with finely transferred little tiny articulate pieces. There's the building up, there's the wearing away, there's the sawing in, there's the carving out.
Cheryl Holz's work is amazing. It is like an iceberg where what you see on the top of the surface is only the beginning. A lot of her work comes underneath, where she does an amazing amount of research and experimentation on what she wants the piece to look like. So there's a lot of work before her final piece is even started. And if you've ever walked into a space where her work's hanging, there is an amazing amount of elements and principles of design that she totally understands, because you'll see the color and the texture at a distance, and it'll draw you in. And then once you get there, there are little vignettes about what she's trying to say about her work. So it takes you all the way around the piece and gives you a really deep understanding of what she's trying to convey.
I've been doing more and more commissions lately. The first time I did it, it was difficult, but now I find it really rewarding to brainstorm and collaborate with a person or organization to come up with a piece that satisfies both their requirements of their space, but also is a piece that I can be proud of. So for example, the commission that I did for the Peoria Hospital, I chose to do an aerial view of the Illinois River as it flows through Peoria. So then I wanted to incorporate and make the subject of it indigenous species to that river. So not only did I draw and paint them, but I researched and found specimens, and then I even worked with a paleontologist to find fossils that were from that river or that area to incorporate into the piece. There's a commission that I have coming up that deals with St. Francis, and he is the patron saint of critters and plants and animals. So the way that I would incorporate them is not by doing a portrait of an individual animal, but by showing the evidence that they exist. The tracks that they leave as they run through the forest, or the silhouette of that herd of deer that sees you before you see them.
I found that Cheryl's work actually becomes better with time. And what's interesting is there's so much to her work and so deep on so many levels that once a person or an organization lives with it, they actually bond with it more and more as time goes on. So it becomes very much a part of their soul.
For me, Being a mixed media artist means I'm not limited to any one material or process. I'm not just a watercolorist or an oil painter. I love finding a new process, a new material, a new technique. For me, that keeps it new and exciting.